You wanted a show? Enjoy the finale.
2 in the morning, and I'm sitting in my workshop with a half-empty bottle of bourbon, scrolling through Instagram like some pathetic stalker. But here's the thing about being pathetic. Sometimes it pays off. Sometimes you see your wife of 8 years posting yacht photos with her ex-boyfriend Cameron Shaw while she's supposed to be on a girls' trip to figure out our marriage. My name's Evan Kincaid, and 3 weeks ago, my wife Vivian announced she needed space to think. Not a divorce, mind you, just a break. Her rules were simple. No dating other people, no major financial decisions, and definitely no social media drama. My rule was simpler: respect. Guess which one of us is a lying piece of work? The workshop smells like sawdust and motor oil, familiar scents that usually calm me down. I built this business from nothing, Kincaid Custom Woodworking, turning rich people's Pinterest fantasies into overpriced furniture. Vivian always said I had working-class hands but upper-class vision. I thought it was a compliment until tonight. Her latest post shows her in a red bikini, champagne flute raised toward Cameron's stupid, perfect teeth. The yacht's name is clearly visible. Second Chance. I know that boat. I should. My company restored the teak deck last spring. Technically, it's listed as a business asset for tax purposes. My phone buzzes. Vivian's calling. Evan, baby, I know it's late, but I wanted to talk. Her voice has that fake sweetness she uses when she's caught doing something crappy. I take a sip of bourbon and lean back in my chair. Talk away, sweetheart. I'm all ears. I've been thinking and I'm ready to come home. This break was exactly what we needed. I feel so much clearer now about our relationship. That's fascinating. Tell me more about this clarity. She laughs, that tinkling sound that used to make my heart race. Now it just makes me tired. Well, I realized how much I love you, how much I want to fight for us. Cameron helped me see that. Cameron? Silence. Then, he's just a friend, Evan. You know that. He was helping me process my feelings about our marriage. On a yacht, in a bikini, with champagne. You're being paranoid. And honestly, this jealousy thing isn't attractive. I thought you trusted me. I stand up, walking to the window that overlooks our driveway. Her BMW isn't there. It hasn't been there for 3 weeks. Vivian, let me ask you something. When you said no dating other people during our break, did you mean that literally? Or was there some fine print I missed? Of course I meant it literally. God, Evan, why are you being like this? Because I can see Cameron's hand on your lower back in the photo you posted 2 hours ago. The silence stretches so long, I think she's hung up. Then she comes back, and the sweet voice is gone. You're stalking my social media now? That's really healthy, Evan. Really mature. Answer the question. Fine. Yes, Cameron and I have gotten close again. But it's not what you think. We're just... Stop. What? Just stop talking. I had one rule during this break, Vivian. One, respect. You couldn't even manage that. You're overreacting. Nothing happened that meant anything. It was just... I said stop. The break's over, sweetheart. So is this marriage. I hang up before she can respond and immediately call my lawyer's emergency line. Some things can't wait until morning. By dawn, I've made 3 calls and sent 2 emails. The yacht that Vivian and Cameron are currently enjoying, it's being repossessed by my company for routine maintenance and inspection. The credit card she's been using for her little vacation. Frozen since they're tied to business accounts that require both signatures for large purchases. My phone's been buzzing nonstop since 6 a.m., but I don't answer. Instead, I'm having coffee with my employee, Ricky Martinez, in the diner downtown, watching the sunrise and planning my day. Boss, you sure about this? I mean, she's gonna be pissed. Ricky's 25, built like a linebacker, and has the emotional intelligence of a golden retriever. He's also the most loyal person I know and surprisingly good with technology for a guy who looks like he bench presses trucks for fun. She's already pissed, Ricky. Might as well give her a reason. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text from Vivian's best friend, Marissa. What did you do? V is freaking out at the marina. I show Ricky the text. He grins. Want me to drive over there with the camera? Nah, let's let her stew for a while. Besides, I've got work to do. But as we're leaving the diner, old Mrs. Darrow from next door flags me down. She's about 70, sharp as a tack, and sees everything from her front porch. Evan, honey, I hope you don't mind me saying, but it's about time you stood up for yourself. What do you mean, Mrs. Darrow? That wife of yours has been entertaining visitors while you've been working. Different car in your driveway twice last week. Expensive one. I feel something cold settle in my stomach. What kind of car? Silver sports car. Fancy. The kind that man Cameron Shaw drives. So Vivian wasn't just cheating during the break. She'd been cheating before it, probably for months. The break was just her way of making it official without having to admit what she was doing. Mrs. Darrow, if you ever see that car again, would you mind giving me a call? She pats my arm with a knowing smile. Honey, I'll do more than that. I'll get pictures. The Moose and Mug isn't the kind of bar you'd expect to find in our little college town. It's dark, sticky, and smells like decades of cigarette smoke despite the smoking ban. The owner, Margot, is a 60-year-old woman with silver hair and eyes like a hawk. She knows everyone's business and isn't shy about sharing it. I'm nursing a beer and waiting for Ricky when she slides onto the stool next to me. Heard Vivian's having some transportation troubles, she says, not looking at me. News travels fast. Faster when it's good news. That girl's been running her mouth about you for months, telling anyone who'd listen how you don't appreciate her, don't understand her needs. I take a long sip of beer. What kind of needs? The expensive kind. Cameron Shaw's been buying her drinks in here since February, always when you were working late. February. That's 5 months ago. I think about all the nights I stayed late in the workshop, all the times Vivian said she was having dinner with girlfriends or working late at her startup job. You got any proof of that? Margot reaches under the bar and pulls out her phone. She scrolls through photos, then shows me the screen. It's Vivian and Cameron in a corner booth, his hand on her thigh, her laughing at something he's saying. The timestamp shows March 15th. I take pictures of interesting customers, she says. Never know when someone might need them. Ricky walks in, sees us talking, and orders a beer. I show him Margot's photo. Whoa, boss. That's cold. Gets colder, Margot says. They've been planning this for weeks. Vivian was in here last Tuesday, telling Cameron how she was going to ask for a break so they could be together without it technically being cheating. The pieces click together. The sudden request for space, the specific rules, the immediate trip with Cameron. It was all planned. Margot, I need a favor. Name it. I need to know everywhere they go, everyone they talk to, everything they do when they get back to town. She grins. Honey, I thought you'd never ask. Over the next week, Margot becomes my intelligence network. Vivian and Cameron return from their abbreviated yacht trip. Turns out having your boat repossessed really ends the romantic mood and immediately start damage control. They're telling people I'm having a breakdown, that I'm being unreasonable and controlling. Vivian's playing the victim, saying she just needed space to think, and I'm punishing her for it. But Margot's network of bartenders, waitresses, and shop owners tells a different story. They've been seen together constantly, holding hands at the country club, kissing in Cameron's car outside the grocery store, booking a room at the fancy hotel on Main Street. Time to go public, I tell Ricky on Friday afternoon. We're parked outside the country club in his pickup truck, watching Cameron's silver Porsche in the parking lot. It's been there for 2 hours, along with Vivian's BMW. You sure about this, boss? Ricky, they've been lying to everyone for months. Time for some truth. I pull out the GPS tracker I bought online, completely legal, by the way, and walk over to Cameron's car. It takes 30 seconds to attach it under the rear bumper. The device will send location updates to my phone for the next month. As I'm walking back to the truck, Vivian and Cameron emerge from the club. She's wearing a tennis outfit that probably costs more than most people make in a week. He's got his arm around her waist and they're laughing about something. They don't see me, but I see them clearly. And more importantly, I get a perfect photo of Cameron's hand sliding down to grab Vivian's lower back as they reach his car. Got it, I tell Ricky as we drive away. What's next? Now we wait, and we watch. The GPS tracker tells an interesting story over the weekend. Saturday morning, Cameron's house. Saturday afternoon, the marina where they probably expected to find the yacht. Saturday evening, a motel on the outskirts of town. Sunday morning, back to Cameron's house. Sunday afternoon, Vivian's office building, probably so she can maintain the fiction that she's been staying there during our break. But Sunday evening is the most interesting. The tracker shows Cameron's car parked outside our house for 3 hours. I call Mrs. Darrow. Oh yes, dear, they were there all evening. Looked like they were moving things out, boxes and suitcases. So Vivian's not just cheating, she's stealing. Probably taking anything valuable she can claim as hers before I can freeze her access to our joint accounts. Monday morning, I drive home to see what's missing. The good silverware, gone. Her grandmother's jewelry, gone. The expensive art we bought for the living room, gone. But she made a mistake. She took the laptop I bought her for Christmas, not realizing it was purchased through my business account and technically belongs to the company. I call my IT guy. Can you remotely wipe a laptop that's registered to my business? Sure thing, Mr. Kincaid. Want me to do it now? Make it happen. Then I call my lawyer again. I need to freeze all joint accounts and credit cards. She's been stealing assets. I can have that done by noon, and I want to file for divorce, adultery, and theft of marital property. Evan, are you sure? This is going to get ugly? I think about the photo on my phone, about the months of lies, about the boxes being moved out of my house while I trusted her to work things out. It's already ugly. I'm just making it official. By Tuesday, Vivian's world starts falling apart. Her credit cards are declined at lunch. The laptop she's been using for work is wiped clean. The hotel where she's been staying with Cameron demands payment up front since her card doesn't work. She calls me 17 times. I don't answer. She shows up at my workshop Wednesday evening, looking desperate and angry. Evan, we need to talk. No, we really don't. You can't just cut me off financially. I have rights. You had rights. You forfeited them when you started sleeping with Cameron Shaw in February. Her face goes white. How did you... No? Sweetheart, this is a small town. People talk, and they take pictures. I show her Margot's photo. She stares at it for a long moment, then looks back at me. It's not what it looks like. It looks like you've been cheating on me for months while planning this whole break charade so you could do it guilt-free. Evan, please. I made mistakes, but we can work through this. No, we can't. You know why? Because you're not sorry you did it. You're sorry you got caught. She tries a different approach, stepping closer, putting her hand on my chest. I love you. I've always loved you. Cameron doesn't mean anything. I step back. Save it for someone who actually cares. You're going to regret this. I'll take half of everything you own. Good luck with that. Adultery is still grounds for divorce in this state, and theft of marital property doesn't look good to judges. She leaves, but I know this isn't over. Vivian doesn't give up easily, and she's got Cameron's money behind her now, but I've got something better than money. I've got the truth, and I've got allies. Time to use both. Thursday afternoon, the GPS tracker shows Cameron's car heading toward the interstate. They're running. I call Ricky. You busy? Never too busy for fun, boss. Meet me at the house. Bring your camera. We follow the tracker signal in my pickup truck, staying about a mile behind. They're not speeding, probably don't want to get pulled over, but they're definitely leaving town in a hurry. Where you think they're going? Ricky asks. Probably Cameron's lake house. It's about 2 hours north. But they don't make it that far. The tracker stops moving at a rest stop about 30 miles out of town. When we get there, I see why. Cameron's Porsche is overheating, steam pouring from under the hood. Karma's a witch, Ricky observes. Vivian and Cameron are standing next to the car, arguing. She's gesturing wildly, and he's looking at his phone with the expression of a man whose day is not going according to plan. I park the truck and walk over. Having car trouble? Cameron spins around. What the heck are you doing here? It's a public rest stop, Cameron. I'm resting. Vivian looks like she wants to homicide me. Are you following us? Following you? Why would I follow you? I was just driving north to pick up some lumber and saw a familiar car broken down. Thought I'd be a good neighbor. We don't need your help, Cameron says. Clearly. That's some fine German engineering you got there. What is that, a $90,000 lawn ornament? A small crowd is starting to gather. Rest stops are boring, and drama is entertainment. Evan, just leave us alone, Vivian says. I'm not bothering you. I'm just admiring Cameron's car. Beautiful machine. Shame about the cooling system. I walk around the Porsche slowly like I'm inspecting it. Then I stop at the driver's side door. You know, Cameron, I've always wondered about guys who buy cars like this. Is it compensation for something or just general insecurity? His face turns red. You son of a witch. Now, there are families present. I pull out my keys and in one smooth motion, drag them along the entire driver's side of the car, leaving a deep scratch in the paint. The crowd gasps. Cameron lunges toward me, but I step back. Oops, butterfingers. You just keyed my car? Did I? Gosh, I'm sorry. That's going to be expensive to fix. Good thing you can afford it, what with stealing other men's wives and all. Cameron swings at me. I duck easily. He's soft. Probably hasn't been in a fight since prep school. And his momentum carries him into the side of his own car. Careful there, champ. You don't want to damage it further. Vivian grabs Cameron's arm. Stop it! Both of you! I'm not doing anything, I say innocently. I'm just standing here while your boyfriend tries to assault me in front of witnesses. A state trooper pulls into the rest stop, probably responding to reports of the disturbance. Cameron sees him and immediately calms down. Officer, this man just vandalized my vehicle. The trooper looks at the scratch, then at me. That true, sir? I'm afraid I accidentally scraped his car with my keys, completely unintentional. I'd be happy to pay for the damage. It wasn't an accident, Cameron shouts. Can you prove intent? The trooper asks. Cameron opens his mouth, then closes it. He can't prove I did it intentionally without admitting he tried to hit me first. I'll need to see everyone's licenses, the trooper says. As we're standing there waiting, I lean close to Cameron and speak quietly so only he can hear. This is just the beginning. You want to play games with other people's lives? Let's play. Ricky gets some great photos of Cameron's scratched car and Vivian's mortified expression. By the time we leave, half the rest stop has cell phone videos of the confrontation. That evening, I'm back at the Moosey and Mug, buying drinks for anyone who wants to hear the story. Word spreads fast in a small town, and by closing time, everyone knows that Cameron Shaw got humiliated by a carpenter at a rest stop. But the real victory comes the next day. Cameron's wife, Jessica, shows up at my workshop Friday morning. She's an elegant woman in her 40s, always perfectly put together. Today, she looks tired. Evan, I think we need to talk. About what, Jessica? About our respective spouses and their friendship? She sits down in the chair across from my desk and pulls out her phone. I've suspected for months. Cameron's been distant, secretive, working late, weekend business trips that don't show up on his calendar. She shows me a photo on her phone. Cameron and Vivian having dinner at an expensive restaurant 2 towns over. I hired a private investigator 3 weeks ago. The evidence is comprehensive. I'm sorry, Jessica. I know this is hard. Actually, it's liberating. I've been waiting for proof so I could file for divorce without looking like the bad guy. Cameron's always been careful about his image. She stands up, smoothing her skirt. I wanted to thank you for yesterday. The video of Cameron losing his temper is all over social media. It's going to make my divorce much easier. After she leaves, I call my lawyer. How's the divorce proceeding? Slowly. Vivian's fighting the adultery claim. Says she has witnesses who'll testify that nothing inappropriate happened before your separation. What if Cameron's wife files for divorce, citing the same affair? That would be helpful. Very helpful. By Monday, the gossip network is in full swing. Jessica Shaw filed for divorce over the weekend, citing adultery and emotional abandonment. She's asking for half of everything, including Cameron's business. Vivian and Cameron are staying at the cheap motel on Route 9, the kind of place that rents rooms by the week and doesn't ask too many questions. Their grand romance has turned into a sordid affair in a place that smells like disinfectant and broken dreams. I'm starting to feel sorry for them. Then I remember the months of lies, the stolen property, the humiliation of finding out through social media that my wife was cheating. The feeling passes quickly. Tuesday evening, Detective Sloan comes into the Moose and Mug. He's off duty, still in uniform, but relaxed. We've known each other for years. Heard you've been having some domestic troubles, he says, ordering a beer. Nothing I can't handle. Good, because if it becomes something you can't handle, you call me. Don't try to be a hero. I'm not the hero in this story, Detective. He looks at me for a long moment. No, I don't suppose you are. Just remember, revenge is a dish best served legal. I'll keep that in mind. But as I'm driving home, I'm thinking about what he said. Hero, villain, does it matter anymore? Vivian and Cameron destroyed my marriage, stole from me, lied about me to mutual friends. Maybe it's time to stop being the good guy. Maybe it's time to be the villain they deserve. The annual Harvest Festival is this weekend, and the whole town will be there. It's perfect. I spend Wednesday and Thursday setting up my plan. Ricky thinks I've lost my mind, but he's along for the ride. Mrs. Darrow is delighted to help. Apparently, she's been waiting years for some real excitement. What exactly are we doing? Ricky asks as we load supplies into his truck. We're giving the people what they want, which is a show. Friday night, I make my move. The motel where Vivian and Cameron are staying has a back entrance that's not visible from the main road. At exactly 9 p.m., when I know they'll be inside, I park Ricky's truck behind the building. The plan is simple. Create a scene that looks like a police raid but isn't actually illegal. Ricky's got a friend who works security at the mall. He's borrowed some official-looking equipment and uniforms from the costume shop downtown. You sure this is going to work? Ricky asks, adjusting his fake security badge. Trust me. Mrs. Darrow is positioned across the street with her camera. 3 of Margot's regulars are parked nearby, ready to spread the word. Social media is going to love this. At exactly 9:15, we execute the plan. Ricky pounds on the motel room door while I set up flashing lights on his truck. It looks official enough to fool anyone who isn't paying close attention. Security! Open up! They're scrambling inside. Muffled voices, the sound of people getting dressed quickly. Cameron opens the door wearing nothing but a towel. What's going on? We've had reports of disturbances. Need to check the room. This is harassment. But by now, a small crowd has gathered. Mrs. Darrow is taking pictures. Someone's live streaming on Facebook. Vivian appears behind Cameron, wrapped in a bedsheet, looking mortified. Evan? She sees me standing by the truck. What are you doing? Me? I'm just here with the security team. Apparently, someone called in a noise complaint. This is insane. What's insane is a married woman shacking up in a motel with another married man while both their spouses are filing for divorce. The crowd murmurs. Someone laughs. This is better than cable TV. Cameron tries to salvage his dignity. Everyone just go home. There's nothing to see here. Actually, I say, pulling out my phone, there's quite a lot to see. I start reading from my screen. Cameron Shaw, age 42, married father of 2, owner of Shaw Development, currently residing in a motel with Vivian Kincaid, age 31, also married, while both are involved in adultery-based divorce proceedings. You can't do this, Vivian shouts. Do what? Read public records? Share information that's already in court filings? Marissa, Vivian's best friend, pushes through the crowd. This is cruel, Evan. Just stop. Cruel? You want to know what's cruel, Marissa? Cruel is finding out your wife's been cheating for months through social media posts. Cruel is having your property stolen while you're trying to work things out. Cruel is being called controlling and paranoid when you're actually being lied to. The crowd's on my side now. Small towns don't like cheaters, and they especially don't like people who think they're better than everyone else. But you know what's not cruel? I continue. Truth, consequences, justice. Cameron tries to push past me, but Ricky steps in his way. Cameron's soft, probably hasn't done manual labor in 20 years. Ricky's built like a truck and works construction. Where you going, champ? Get out of my way! Or what? You'll throw another tantrum like you did at the rest stop. Someone in the crowd shouts, "Show him the video!" Soon everyone's pulling out their phones, showing each other the footage of Cameron's meltdown. Vivian starts crying. Not the pretty, delicate tears she uses when she wants sympathy. Ugly, desperate sobs. Please, Evan, please just stop. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. For a moment, I almost feel bad. Then I remember the yacht photos, the months of lies, the stolen property. You're not sorry you did it, Vivian. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. I signal to Ricky, and we start packing up our equipment. The show's over, but the damage is done. By morning, everyone in town will know exactly what Vivian and Cameron have been up to. As we're driving away, Ricky asks, "Feel better?" Not yet, but I will. Saturday morning, the Harvest Festival is buzzing with gossip. Vivian and Cameron are nowhere to be seen, probably hiding in their motel room. But their absence just makes people talk more. I set up a booth for my woodworking business, displaying some of my best pieces. It's good advertising, and it puts me right in the center of town where everyone can see me being normal and reasonable. Around noon, Jessica Shaw stops by my booth. Evan, I wanted to thank you again. My lawyer says Cameron's ready to settle. Apparently, he doesn't want any more public embarrassment. I'm glad I could help. There's something else. I'm thinking of remodeling my kitchen after the divorce is final. Would you be interested in the job? I'd be honored, she smiles. Good. I want to hire local contractors, support people who have integrity. As she walks away, Margot appears at my elbow. That woman's got class, she says. Unlike some people. Speaking of which, your wife's been calling around town this morning, trying to find someone who will give her a job. Seems her startup position didn't work out. Really? Really. Turns out her boss doesn't approve of employees who bring drama to work. Bad for the company image. So Vivian's unemployed now, in addition to being broke and homeless. I should feel triumphant, but mostly I just feel tired. Margot, you think I'm doing the right thing? She considers this seriously. Honey, I've been watching people destroy each other for 40 years. Usually it's ugly and stupid and everyone loses. But sometimes, just sometimes, someone deserves exactly what they get. And this is one of those times. This is definitely one of those times. That evening, as the festival is winding down, Vivian appears. She's been drinking, I can tell from the way she's walking, and she looks terrible. Her hair's unwashed, her clothes are wrinkled, and there are dark circles under her eyes. She finds me as I'm packing up my booth. Evan, we need to talk. No, we don't. Please, 5 minutes. I look around. There are still people nearby, cleaning up their own booths. Whatever she wants to say, she'll have to say it in public. Fine, 5 minutes. I want to come home. That's not happening. I'll end things with Cameron. I'll go to counseling. I'll do whatever you want. What I want is for you to disappear. She flinches like I've slapped her. You don't mean that. I absolutely mean that. You're a liar and a thief and a cheat. You destroyed our marriage for a guy who's now broke and facing his own divorce. You made your choice. I made a mistake. You made 100 mistakes for months while looking me in the eye and lying about it. She starts crying again, but this time I don't feel even a flicker of sympathy. You ruined everything, she sobs. No, Vivian, you ruined everything. I just made sure everyone knows it. She turns and walks away, stumbling slightly. I watch her go and feel nothing. No satisfaction, no regret, no anger, just emptiness. But that's about to change, because tomorrow I'm going to finish this. Sunday morning, I wake up with perfect clarity about what needs to happen next. It's not enough that Vivian and Cameron are broke and embarrassed. It's not enough that their reputations are destroyed. They need to understand that actions have consequences, and some consequences last forever. I call Ricky. You free today? For you, boss. Always. Good. We're going to make a delivery. Cameron's house sits on 2 acres outside town, all glass and steel and architectural pretension. It's the kind of place that looks impressive in magazines, but feels cold and empty in person. Perfect for him. The divorce papers Jessica filed included a restraining order, so Cameron can't go home until the legal issues are resolved. The house is empty, protected only by a basic security system that Ricky's cousin helped design. You sure about this? Ricky asks as we park down the road. I'm sure. We wait until noon when the neighbors are likely to be having lunch or watching TV. Then we approach the house through the woods behind the property. The security system is easy to disable. Ricky's cousin left us detailed instructions. We're not stealing anything, just redecorating. In the back of Ricky's truck, we have 6 dozen chickens. Live chickens, borrowed from a farm outside town in exchange for a custom dining room table. The farmer thinks we're playing a prank on a friend. He's not wrong. This is insane, Ricky mutters as we carry the first crate of chickens to Cameron's front door. This is justice. It takes 20 minutes to get all the chickens inside. They're surprisingly calm until we open the crates. Then chaos erupts. Chickens everywhere, clucking and flapping and leaving deposits on Cameron's white leather furniture. They knock over his expensive art, scratch his hardwood floors, and generally turn his pristine showplace into a barnyard. Mrs. Darrow is positioned across the street with her camera, as planned. She gets perfect shots of chickens appearing in the floor-to-ceiling windows, of feathers floating through the air like snow. We're gone in 30 minutes, leaving no trace except the chickens and the chaos they're creating. By evening, the video Mrs. Darrow posted has been shared 300 times. The comments are hilarious. Chickens coming home to roost. That's what happens when you mess with the wrong farmer. Best security system ever. Monday morning, I'm in my workshop when Detective Sloan shows up. Evan, we need to talk. About what? About the chickens. I look up from the cabinet I'm sanding. What chickens? The chickens that somehow got inside Cameron Shaw's house yesterday. That's weird. How do you think that happened? I think someone put them there. Someone with a grudge against Cameron? Someone exactly like that. I set down my sandpaper and meet his eyes. Detective, I was home all day yesterday. You can ask Mrs. Darrow. She saw me working in my yard. I'm sure she did. Is Cameron pressing charges? Hard to press charges when you can't prove who did it, and technically no crime was committed. The chickens didn't damage anything that can't be cleaned or replaced. So it's just a harmless prank? That's one way to look at it. He turns to leave, then stops. Evan, I hope you're about done with the pranks. I'm done when they're gone. They're leaving town today. Cameron's moving to the city, starting over. Vivian's going with him. I feel a surge of satisfaction. Good. So we're done here? We're done here. After he leaves, I walk outside to get some air. Mrs. Darrow is on her porch, waving me over. Evan, honey, you should know, that wife of yours came by this morning. What did she want? To talk to you. But when I told her you weren't home, she left this. She hands me an envelope with my name written in Vivian's handwriting. Inside is a single sheet of paper. Evan, I know you'll never forgive me, and I don't blame you. I destroyed everything good we had, and I'll have to live with that forever. I hope someday you can find happiness with someone who deserves you. I'm sorry for everything. V. I read it twice, then crumple it up. What did it say? Mrs. Darrow asks. Nothing important. That afternoon, Ricky and I are loading lumber when a car pulls up. It's Jessica Shaw, looking elegant as always, despite everything she's been through. Evan, I wanted to say goodbye. You're leaving too? Just for a while. I'm taking the kids to stay with my sister in California while the divorce is finalized. But I'll be back. Good. This town needs more people like you. She smiles. And fewer people like my soon-to-be ex-husband. Speaking of which, how's he handling the chicken situation? He's furious, but there's nothing he can do about it. The insurance company won't cover acts of poultry, and he can't prove who did it. Acts of poultry, I like that. Evan, can I ask you something? Sure. Do you feel better now that it's over? I think about it. Do I feel better? Vivian and Cameron are gone. Their reputations destroyed, their plans ruined. Everyone in town knows the truth about what they did. Justice has been served. Yeah, I say. I do feel better. Good. You deserve better than what she gave you. After Jessica leaves, I stand in my workshop, looking around at the tools and projects that define my life. Everything's exactly the same as it was 6 months ago, but everything's different too. My phone buzzes. It's a text from an unknown number. Mr. Kincaid, I heard you do custom kitchen work. Would you be interested in a consultation? Sarah Mitchell. Sarah Mitchell. I remember her from high school. She was smart, funny, kind. Everything Vivian pretended to be. I heard she moved back to town recently after her divorce. I text back. I'd be happy to discuss it. When works for you? Her response comes immediately. How about dinner tomorrow? I promise not to order champagne on a yacht. I laugh out loud. News travels fast in a small town, and apparently, so does hope. Dinner sounds perfect. As the sun sets, I walk outside and look at the house Vivian and I shared for 8 years. Tomorrow, I'll start remodeling it, turning it into something that's entirely mine. New paint, new furniture, new memories. The old Evan would have felt guilty about what I did to Vivian and Cameron. He would have worried about being fair, about taking the high road, about being the bigger person. But the old Evan was a fool who trusted his wife and got played for months. The old Evan believed in second chances and working things out and fighting for love. The new Evan knows better. The new Evan understands that some people don't deserve second chances, that some betrayals can't be forgiven, that sometimes the only way to win is to make sure the other side loses everything. Vivian wanted a break from our marriage so she could explore her options without consequences. Instead, she got broken. Her reputation, her relationships, her future. She gambled everything on Cameron Shaw and lost it all. Cameron thought he could steal another man's wife and face no repercussions. Instead, he lost his own wife, his house, his standing in the community, and his dignity. He'll be cleaning chicken crap out of his furniture for months. And me? I'm free. Free from lies, free from manipulation, free from a woman who never deserved what I gave her. Tomorrow I'll have dinner with Sarah Mitchell. Maybe it'll lead to something, maybe it won't. But whatever happens, it'll be honest, real, built on truth instead of deception. I walk back into my workshop and pour myself a bourbon. Outside, the town is quiet, peaceful. Inside, I'm finally at peace too. Vivian and Cameron are gone, probably driving toward whatever sad future awaits them in the city. Their grand romance has turned into exile, their passionate affair into mutual destruction. I raise my glass in a toast to the empty workshop. Here's to consequences. Here's to justice. Here's to the last laugh. And for the first time in months, I smile and mean it.